Truth. I don't know why we're having a benediction and leading a prayer here at an Israeli in Israel for the opening of an Israeli embassy, but it's very peculiar. But still, the fact that the White House picked those two people is quite amusing, and it just shows you with the God aspect and the possible coming of the end of times and the pushing towards Armageddon, at least by the politicians on the American side of things. Very, very disturbing stuff. That personally, no real sane American wants any part of whatsoever. So anyway, Mr. Netanyahu, he spoke of peace with all of our neighbors and the embassy at the embassy dedication, praising Trump and his team as truth tellers for acknowledging what he called the fact Israel's capital was an internal, undivided Jerusalem. A peace that is built on lies will crash on the rocks of Middle Eastern reality. Mr. Netanyahu said. So there is that. So sounds like the Palestinian state or the Palestinian prison is really what it is right now. Will be crashing on rocks sometime soon, based on the path we're going on. It's really quite a scary fact that we could be witnessing a real, almost ethnic cleansing level of violence against one particular group, and the fact that there is no other kind of interaction and no other pushing about it. And no kind of real coverage by the U.S. media. It's going to be very interesting to see how that, and very scary how that plays out down the road for the Palestinians. So yeah, there is that situation, fun situation ahead of us. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back shortly. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
Welcome back to today's show, everyone. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate it greatly. As always, be sure to check out the most recent episode of For the Win, where me and Zach Leifschultz go on the hunt for the best Kanye song ever made. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Also, we got 2 new episodes of Global coming up, part 1, part 2 of the last season finale. So that's going to be very cool. So that's what's coming up here in that Simmer. And now let's get back to the show. All right. Like, that music just wanted to take, like, 2 AK-47, just, like, start shooting them in there like a madman. Yeah, that's that sounded a little bit weird, but that's what it sounds like, okay? So there is that. Now we turn our attention to Gina Haspel, or as they call her, her friends call her Bloody Gina. And so pretty much what's going on here is not good for us. Most Democrats, they are opposed to the memo, which is a good thing. They created a memo dedicated to the nomination. They created a memorandum dedicated to the career horrors, torture, destruction of evidence of Gina Haspel. So they pretty much, it was a classified memo the Democratic staff put together detailing Haspel's role in advocacy for torture, and then later, obviously, as we know, destroying the evidence. Very bad stuff. Yeah, so anyway, the point is, the GOP Senate Intel Committee is now restricting the access to the memo. U.S. People, the people of America, the people of the United States of America, they will not be able to see, they will not be able to know whether or not the USA directed torture. They should really know, to be honest, what the USA did, whether or not it was classified, whether or not it has to do with Gina Haspel's nomination. Like we should know the full extent of what was tortured. I mean, as long as it didn't compromise anyone or put anyone in harm's way, and that has to be obviously an ethical and valuable judgment done by the United States military, which is going to be harder than it looks, to be honest. Yeah, but It is quite incredible, the world in this story that we're getting into here. They're just restricting the memo. They're literally restricting the memo here, and we're not probably going to be able to get to find this stuff out. I mean, unless there's some kind of leakage coming from this, which in the age of Trump is also a very likely possibility. But the problem is, it appears there is some serious issues with Gina Haspel in the White House here, or in just this general White House nomination, and it appears to be pretty bad. So yeah, Monday morning, an aide to the top Democrat on the Senate Intel Committee, Mark Warner aide Elizabeth Falcone, detailed the restrictions. So here they are, not in public senator database anymore. It's under the Public Center, SCIF, the Secure Compartment and Information Facility housed within Congress. And also, only senators can review it on a public request. So these are the only people who can review data. It's going to be senators. Senators will only be able to do it upon request. So in Falcone's email, which the Senate source shared with reporters, she said the memo was unable to be viewed, which is a little bit disturbing. And I mean, there are a lot of, to my mind, very big problems with this situation. Yeah, I mean, Mark Warner released a statement saying that this statement was that this is unacceptable, and I mean, it honestly really is. I mean, what kind of world are we living in where this is just generally tolerated on a daily basis? I mean, what's going on here? I just do not get it. And it just seems to be at a whole nother, way more disturbing point. I mean, people briefed on this memo now say it is not possible, after reading this memo, to not have serious doubts about this confirmation. And personally, I had serious doubts, and I was against it from the very beginning. So, I mean, just a viewer or someone who opens it or is briefed on the contents like me or many other American people, I mean, you could only imagine the public resistance that would then arise. So obviously, it makes sense why the CIA and everyone else involved in this whole mess is going to want to keep it quiet. Because, as we know, we've had pretty much the CIA call its best guys out to pretty much try and push this girl through here. They are really going on. They're bringing out people like John Brennan, like people who never want to go on TV, and they just want their comfortable retirement homes. They're saying, all right, buddy, you got to come out. You got to help us support and push through Gina Haspel here. And they're like, okay, I'll do that. But that's the big problem there. And it's, I mean, screw the GOP here. No Democrat can confirm Bloody Gina. Not a single one when they look at this memo. They cannot do it. It's just not allowed. It's not going to happen, nor should it happen. It is a disgrace if they move to confirm Bloody Gina. I mean, when they've had the opportunity here to look at and see this memo, I mean, if they still vote for her, that's another delusional thing that you have going on with you. But if you take the time to vote for her and still not look at the memo, you should resign immediately. I mean, you got to look at this memo. I mean, such serious accusations, such things are being said about this memo. It's so problematic. And my guess, and it was confirmed by reading down later in this report, is that a lot of the senators, they have not yet looked at this memo. A few senators have read this memo, and which sounds awful, and the memo itself sounds awful. And, I mean, there are serious concerns about even how Mark Warner will vote, according to Senate sources. And that's the guy who's the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee. We don't know how he's going to vote yet. So, I mean, the vote is on Wednesday, so people are going to... it's on my birthday. So, if Gina Haspel gets confirmed on my birthday, if she gets stopped on my birthday, that's going to be a great birthday present. I'll tell you that. It's going to be an amazing birthday present. So, United States Congress, you just want to... maybe want to just pony up there, bud. Pony up for a great president, Mark Warner. Give me my birthday present. It's all I want. I'm turning 15. Please don't confirm Gina Haspel. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But so far, I mean, there are now serious concerns about how Mark Warner will vote. And if he has seen this memo and he decides to still vote for Gina Haspel, that's a palm in face movement. That's a palm in face moment right there. So far we have Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Joe Donnelly on the Democrat side say yes, and McCain and Rand Paul say no, and especially Rand Paul there, subject to change. You got to keep that in mind, because Rand Paul, he has had some serious issues with keeping to and staying with his supposed loyalties over the years. And that's always kind of been a problem for him, and it's probably something he's going to, and many other people are going to be skeptical. You're still against Gina? Okay, you're still against Gina Rand. You're still against Gina? Okay, good. But that's pretty much what we're going to have to look at for the past. So that's pretty much how it stands. So those are the people who have broken away from their party line, the majority of their party, and split the vote on this this gal. So if we get Manchin and if we get Donnelly to flip, and if we get them to come back and really try and start to maybe see sense here, it would be huge. Because, I mean, are we really going to get, if you can't stand up to criticism from a Republican running in the general election, whoever, I think it was like Patrick Morrissey, someone who didn't vote about the fact that you did not vote to confirm Gina Haspel, I mean, there would be, I mean, if you can't defend the fact that you voted against Gina Haspel, you do not deserve to be in Democratic politics. You really do not deserve to be in Democratic politics. It's not that hard from a Democratic position to defend. Just pretty much, this is how you do it. You're at the debate stage, right? And you're like standing up there. You're like, "Hello, I'm so happy to be here at this debate. What's the question you would like to ask me?" And they're going to be like, there's been a lot of questions raised about why you did not support President Trump's nominee for the Senate. And then you'll be like, here's how it's going to go. You're going to be like, personally, I decided to take a stand. This is going to be the debate stage. And you're going to be like, You're going to be like, personally, I said no to torture. I said